Alright, so I thought I'd just show off some really early work on a game I'm working on right now. It's once again written in my skunk engine. Um, okay, right now he's not moving too much. uh, okay, no, he's not stuck. Okay, so obviously this needs a lot more work. This is like an hour of work. It's not particularly refined. It's just a very simple, random walking algorithm. Basically, the same algorithm they used in Sam and Max to get Max walking around while you were investigating as Sam. But obviously, there needs to be a lot more refinement, and there needs to be like proximity sensors. So when he gets close to like a bed, he will lay down, and if he gets close to the table, he'll sit down and eat. That sort of stuff. Also, he's kind of like hovering in the air still when he goes upstairs. That's all stuff that needs to be fixed. But basically, this is like the room image is also not done yet, so don't worry. The house is gonna become a lot more detailed. I actually had to scale that down resolution wise. Sorry, color wise, palette wise. Um, I'm not yet done refining the colors, so currently this uses too many colors since we're still limited to 256 colors. So this can pretty much run anywhere. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to really show this off what I'm working on right now. I'm kind of hoping to make like a small game that can make some money. Um, I'm still putting a lot of passion inside of it. Of course, passion is part of the game, but also I kind of really need to find a way to make some money so I can survive because right now it's still March is kind of the deadline. Late March is when I'm running out of money. So, and I'm being really frugal right now. Yeah, obviously the animations are not done yet as well. He's kind of hovering now. He just hovered over the door. But yeah, the basic idea is to have like a little computer people sort of clone, and but far more expanded than what little computer people did. Um, it would be an idle game. It would sit on the bottom right corner of your screen. Um, Kind of inspired by Desktop Defenders. I was really impressed with what Desktop Defenders did with that concept. I would really like to do something similar to Desktop Defenders, but more. Uh, Not that I don't like arcade games, but like more something. Uh, yeah, something calm. And there would be a lot more stuff. There would be work sites. I would constantly update this. I would sell it for about, I'd say probably $5 on Steam. I'd probably also make an N64 version of it, Dreamcast version, Amiga, anything that couldn't run it, Atari. I could make like for every system, I could make like a little version that I keep in sync since the engine is quite versatile. And of course, this is going to be my first non adventure game in that engine. Somebody asked me if you could make non adventure games in that engine, and I'm trying to prove that because you absolutely can. There's still a lot of opcodes I could implement for non adventure related stuff. I got my Discord again, my Discord notifications. I really need to turn these off. But yes, I would sell this for like $5 into early access on Steam first. Um, I would probably have like on itch.io. I'd probably sell the N64 version for a small fee, and and a Dreamcast version too, maybe. I haven't actually ran it on Dreamcast yet, so I know it runs on N64. But yeah, I would expand it constantly. Is my idea. I would start with the simple kind of little computer people concept, but then I would introduce more elements. I have this idea of basically having an obesity level. So I think I've mentioned that before in another video. Um, The idea is to have an obesity level. So when you overfeed it would just average your what you're feeding your little person, your little machine person every day, and it would just average that over the week. And if you overfed him for like 2 weeks straight, he would just like walk around in a like a red cap with a greasy white shirt on, and he would just like be kind of obese. He would just and he would be slower. He would be a lot slower. If you underfed him, if you basically let him starve, he would also be slower. Yeah, so that's kind of a concept. Also, I have the idea of maybe having like dating in there, because right now I have two beds. I have two bedrooms, just like in my own house. So I'd have like the idea of having like sort of a dating simulation, or maybe you could even have a. I could infinitely expand this. This could also be like a roommate situation where you have like a roommate. Um, Also, you could maybe pick if you want a dog or a cat. Um, that's actually another character I'm gonna add tonight. I think the cat or the dog. Probably a cat because I'm more of a cat person. Yeah, there's like the idea of having maybe sleepovers, having a blue collar job or a white collar job, uh, introducing job sites. One of my friends actually just suggested something very extreme. He told me, "Hey, why don't you have like a psychopath mode or like a serial killer mode? So you like have a switch in the menu, and when you switch it on, there's like a random chance the guy just like starts inviting strangers and like killing them, like kind of insane stuff. Like you could infinitely extend this. This could go like even beyond what The Sims does. So that's really my idea, and I would be happy if people could tell me what they think of this idea in the comment section. Again, this is really a tech demo right now, a really early tech demo. Obviously, the AI is non-existent. It's basically just a randomizer that kicks in every few seconds and just makes them go places. There needs to be a lot more to the AI, obviously. Also, I would support RTC, real-time clock, so this little blue area here would like get light blue during the sun, during sunshine. Maybe there would even be a sun on top here somewhere. Like in this, you could go like sun here and then like the moon there or whatever. Um, and yeah, the RTC would also decide like say if you haven't been playing the game for like I don't know 2 weeks, 4 weeks, all of a sudden you return, your save game is being checked, and your save game is like 2 or 4 weeks old. So your little person hasn't eaten in 2 to 4 weeks. So what is gonna happen? There's gonna be a skeleton instead of your little person. Kind of cruel, but kind of an idea. Yeah, it would be a very like a small game that I could do. It would really be my first kind of commercial title outside of Oceanfrill, which I'm still working on, of course. Oceanfrill is still a lot more complicated. That's why it's not yet done. It's kind of my magnum opus. I really want to get it done, of course, but I also need to consider like my living situation. And since as much as I love making the game, I don't see it like becoming this great commercial success where I could sell like 100 more copies of a text adventure. I absolutely want to finish it and I want to make more text adventures, but at the same time, I really have to consider what I can do to like make money quickly with like smaller games, so I can finance the development of Oceanfrill, and so I can also finance just surviving. I mean, I got a home right now. I've got my one cat remaining. Sadly, the other died just a couple months after my mom did. But yeah, I right now I'm in survival mode, so I'm just trying to. I'm still also trying to get a new job if that's a possibility. But I'm also really sick of having a day job because it just takes a lot of time away from my passion. I can't really. I'm not really the type who can work for 12 hours and then I can stop working at my day job and focus on my games. Um, there's like there's a real problem with that, unfortunately. Um, yeah, I can. It would be more easy if I could just like work on my games full time, and that is kind of my hope and dream. But I need to find a way to finance that, and maybe it will be this game. Yeah. So the idea is this would be sitting on the top right corner of the screen, and I haven't actually played Desktop Defenders yet. I've only seen like a devlog, but I assume there's like some mechanism where you get like coins every few hours and then you do like upgrades. So I would do something similar here. I would make room for some more items that you could place. Um, Obviously, you need to feed the the character. Yeah, the background is not finished yet either. It's kind of full. I actually don't like the computer in the in the in the kitchen. I don't think it makes sense having a computer in the kitchen. So uh, yeah, either I'll switch it around and put the TV there, or I don't know. Um, but yeah, the basic idea is just having like a really simple idle game that is sitting in your corner, and you buy things for your character. You can buy accessories with the money he's making every couple of minutes or every couple hours in his little job, whatever he's doing. And then later you would get to watch him during his job. He would like be a blue collar worker or a white collar worker. I think that would be randomized. Um, I could add so much. Maybe I could add like you need to do your taxes. If you don't do if your little person machine person doesn't do his taxes, he'll go to prison. There's so much you could add, and I remember reading that the original little computer people originally actually they what they wanted to do originally was a real time clock, a 24-hour real time clock, and they didn't do that because I think time constraints and hardware constraints at the time. But I could do that. Um, I could add that. I could add like a real time clock, and then if you turn on the computer at night, he will be asleep. You could probably still wake him up, but he would be asleep. Um, and then during the day, he might be at work or he might sit down and watch TV, have a beer. Um, all of that stuff. I mean, all of that stuff will take time to animate. This is actually the first time I animated something myself. It's only a small animation right now, only the legs moving. Um, but yeah, I think that's the plan. But because this is the kind of game I could make in a weekend or two. I also have a friend who is working on a Leisure Suit Larry clone with a way more pathetic character than Leisure Suit Larry. Uh, he knows that person in real life, and he's basically hopeless. So this game would be inspired by that person. Um, and I've already drawn sprites for that one as well. Right now I'm constrained to that window, so I can't show it off. I think, but I can show it off in another video. Um, he's hoping to kickstart that one soon, and if that Kickstarter is successful, um, he would probably hire me as a pixel artist and to do like the code for it, because he would be using my engine, and that would be another great chance to really expand my engine, maybe get a higher resolution going, um, depending on what style he wants. I kind of think I should probably get rid of the 256 color limit at some point. It does have its place because you could do like animations with it, but there's also now ways to do the same color cycling on like on more than 256 colors. So yeah, we'll see about that. But if his Kickstarter is successful, then he would probably like he would probably allow me to have some of the money at least, so I can work on his engine, on my engine, on his game. I would do the technical aspects. He would focus on the writing. He has a lot of cool ideas. So fingers crossed. There's a lot I can do in terms of game design, and I really have my passion in game design. Even though a couple days ago, actually yesterday, somebody said I must hate games because I actually kind of agree with the Bethesda guy. There's this guy at Bethesda who said that people would probably cringe if Morrowind was released today, and yeah, I kind of gotta agree. Morrowind was a fantastic experience when it came out, but I feel the game hasn't aged as well, even compared to Daggerfall, because a lot more things are scripted than in Daggerfall. Like the world doesn't really feel as alive. It kind of feels like the world is centered around you. Um, and then the thing I really don't like is that there's like no scheduling for like characters. Um, Somebody said in the comments, yeah, well, on a video that I watched about it, he said, yeah, well, there's a good reason to be a thief in Morrowind because it's actually worth. There's actually weapons and stuff and armor worth stealing. But again, the thing is, the other characters, the NPCs, never sleep, so it gets harder and it gets unrealistically hard because yeah, there's always gonna be somebody awake. I just don't. I like role playing games that actually make me feel like the world is real. And there's like games from like the 80s and 90s that did that better. And I get it. There's like a lore to it because of like the ash. These people can't sleep because of that situation in the mountains, but in Red Mountain. But I don't know. It just doesn't feel as alive as the other Elder Scrolls games, and that's my kind of my main issue with that game. And also the combat. The combat system is terrible. Um, when I played it the last time, I was just befuddled. I hadn't played it since I was a kid. I must have been like 12 when mom bought it at a department store. We got the collector's edition. I love my mom for that. She was such a lovely person. We went like on a trip, and she got me like a Morrowind collector's edition, and it was not cheap at the time. It was surprisingly cheap in comparison to like modern days. Um, but like I think it was like 60 euros. I think it must have been 60 euros. And it was an American import, so that was quite cheap. But yeah, yeah, she was a lovely person. She always got me what I wanted as a kid, and still made me like I wasn't spoiled or anything, but she got me what I wanted and needed, and she also taught me the value of money. Um, I still regret not getting her a bike. Like she really wanted a bike all the time, but anytime she was so close to saving up money for a bike, there was something like some emergency. Like my cat got hit by a car, my old cat, and then we had to fix him up, and that cost a lot of money. That cost like $1,000 to save his life, and of course my father just like kidnapped him a couple years later. So he was such a lovely little guy as well. Um, but yeah, there were always situations, and then of course the whole divorce. So she never had money for a bike, and I really regret not like getting her a bike, because it probably would have meant a lot to her. We were kind of both going through situations, and it never appeared to me. I bought her a PlayStation 3, like almost like of course a retro console technically, but I really wanted to introduce her to gaming, and one of her friends said, yeah, get her a PlayStation 3. There's great games like Little Big Planet on there, and then we never got to play around with that. Um, but yeah, anyhow, back to Morrowind. When I was a kid, I kind of like I didn't even remember how bad the combat system is. Um, as a kid, I played the game, but I was most fascinated by the editor, by the construction set. So I don't even remember the core game actually, because I was just constantly messing around with the construction set. Um, but yeah, so why didn't I turn off my speakers? I always forget. Um, the combat is just like so terrible. The last time I played it, I wrote my own little OpenMW Lua script, and all it did was basically add damage. So anytime you missed your opponent, it would just automatically add random damage between I think like 15 and 25% of the base weapon damage. Like it wasn't much, but it just felt better knowing that you can at least like get some slash damage going than just completely missing. And the game is like so stamina based. If you have no stamina, you're just gonna automatically miss every single time, and it's just like so frustrating, especially if you have like a Khajiit character. Because as a Khajiit, you're just like you're constantly running. You want to get up your acrobatics and athletics and whatnot. So you're just constantly running, and which brings us to another issue. There's no mounts. And people were telling me, yeah, there's like a complicated four layer system of transportation in Morrowind. Okay, but still, mounts would have been really nice. Um, and they had mounts in Daggerfall, so again, it's not a technical issue, or technological issue, or anything. They had mounts in the prequel. Um, and yeah, the world is smaller than Daggerfall, of course, by a lot. But again, would have liked mounts. Oblivion had mounts. Daggerfall had mounts. Morrowind only has mounts if you have like um, a mod. Combat system not great. No mounts. No like real schedule for the non-player characters that they follow. They just walk around randomly, or like my character here, or or they just like stand all day, stand in one freaking corner, and it's just not engaging. It doesn't feel great. Um, yeah, so I kind of just agree with the guy who said that people would probably cringe if they were playing Morrowind in 2 days in the current year. And the thing as well is the community for Morrowind is not as unified as the community you get with Oblivion. I think Oblivion as a remaster worked because you basically had one Oblivion community. You had one Oblivion engine, you had one version of Oblivion for PC, and of course for consoles you had like the old versions as well. But they were pretty much all on par. Now for Morrowind, you have one console release on Xbox, and then you have the PC version, the vanilla version. But then you also have the Morrowind script expander or extender. Extender. And that one is basically a totally different experience. And then you also have OpenMW, which is yet another engine, and you the script extender is not the same as OpenMW. They're not compatible. OpenMW tries to re-implement a lot of features from the script extender, but they're not compatible. The mods are not compatible, and it just feels like everybody has their own version of the way they want to play Morrowind versus Oblivion, where you had mods still, but people were still kind of unified on what it should look like. But with Morrowind, you have vanilla players, you have script extender people, and you have OpenMW people, and then you have people who want to change a lot, people who want to change a little, people who are all about graphics, people who want to completely change the gameplay. There's even a light gun shooter mod on for Morrowind. Um, there's a lot more going on in Morrowind in terms of changes, and so it's kind of more of a divisive community. So I don't think a remaster would even work. And I agree, I totally agree with the guy who said that people would kind of cringe. And also I read that Oblivion, the Oblivion remaster, it was quite successful. But the average person has only the average playing hours per person are sitting at 10 hours apparently, and that's not a lot for a role playing game. Um, I think if they had measured that for the original Oblivion, it would probably have come down to at least 60 or 80 hours per person, even with like some people dragging it down. Like obviously there's gonna be people who only play for a few hours, then there's other people playing for like 3, 4, 500 hours. I myself had 120, 100, or even I think 120 hours at least in Oblivion. Um, Maybe even more before my safe game, before my hard drive died. It's almost like a tradition. My hard drive died for Daggerfall. I had a hard drive die for Oblivion, and I had a hard drive die after just 10 hours of Skyrim, and I haven't really touched Skyrim since. Also, one for Elder Scrolls Online. The only game that didn't kill my hard drive was Morrowind actually, in the arena. Um, but yeah, I kind of agree with the guy. Um, and apparently, according to this one person in the comment section, or two people actually, in the comment section of that video that somebody was recording about Morrowind, that makes me not like video games. Apparently, I hate video games, even though I make video games, and I'm quite passionate about it. Even though this is really a rough alpha state, not even alpha, pre-alpha right now, what you're seeing. Um, but yeah, tell me what you think about it. I think if I do like an early access on Steam, maybe that could be my saving grace, and I would really be passionate about it as well, because I really like that type of game as well. I like point and click adventures. I like text adventures. I like the occasional shooter, and I also really like this sort of gameplay. This little simulation, basically. Um, yeah, that's basically it from my side. I didn't even want to make this. It's almost 30 minutes now. I didn't think it would be this long, but yeah, it's 4 in the morning, 4:30, so I'm gonna stop talking and see you around.